It's a pretty cool accomplishment being able to call yourself a college graduate, but it can be a struggle to settle into the life outside the comfort of those school boundaries. We're turning the spotlight on this big life transition today to know what to expect and make it hopefully a little more seamless. Dr. Tom Golightly joins me. Great to have you. Big topic right now, top of mind for a lot of families and graduates out there, potential graduates. Let me start here, Tom. How do you think life after graduation is different for this generation than it maybe was 10, 20, 30 years ago?
Well, I think one thing that colleges and universities are doing maybe better than ever is really diversifying your experience. So when you get to college campus, you are growing and you're finding yourself, and they want you to explore a lot of different ways. And then you hit graduation and they want you to narrow, and they want you to specify, and they want you to have a specific set of skills. And so throughout your whole time growing up, they're saying broaden, 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 and then nope, now you got to know more about less. And there are some anxieties and sadnesses that kind of come along with that transition.
Sure. I want to get into your advice for that. Well, you touch on the loneliness, the anxieties that I know can hit kids at this time of life. College is somewhat of a comfort zone, if we can call it that, for students once they settle in after a few years. How can you escape kind of that comfort zone and be comfortable as we narrow in and branch out?
So college really does a good job, and you don't even know this when you go to college, but they've kind of formed your community for you. You show up to class, you know your expectations on how to succeed in each class with the syllabus and how to get A's or whatever you want to get, whatever grade. But you also have study groups, and you've got just different things that are happening on campus that provide a certain structure.
Right.
So one thing that people struggle with is they'll jump into a career, they'll jump into that first job, and they know how to do the job, but then they'll leave the job and they're a little lost at, you know, maybe your coworkers aren't going out for drinks every day, and that everyone's a professional. They have their own families, their own lives. So you have to be a little more deliberate about creating a life, not just building a resume.
Yeah, it's an exciting time of life. I also would describe it, reflecting even on my own experience, as a little bit of a lonely time of life. You do feel a little lost socially, and you're not quite sure how to navigate that. How can you curb the loneliness?
So the big thing is to find involvement wherever you're at. It's important to be a little more deliberate about creating your community. And when you find that certain amount of involvement, you really have some satisfaction. I had a client of mine during college. She went back east to DC to work for a lobby firm, and she was incredibly lonely, but not real athletic, but decided to join a kickball league on the National Mall. And she stretched herself, and it was the best thing that she did. Good group of friends, and really kind of felt connected.
And you point out it can feel isolating, those anxious feelings, but you're not alone in this.
Exactly. There's so much shame, I think, that people feel. Why am I not excited for my first job? Why is this not going the way that I wanted to? And I recently just encouraged a client in this phase to take someone to lunch and just say, you know, hey, I'm not really enjoying this. This isn't working out the way that I wanted to.
Just open up, be vulnerable.
Just reach out. And the connection that came, they actually formed a little support group from that lunch, and it was about 8 to 10 new people that are in the same spot.
Do you think social media comparisons can add to those heavy feelings?
Yes, at every age, but especially at this age where your social involvement and a lot of what you do socially centers around your Insta or, you know, your Pinterest or whatever. And it's hard to remember that those are the scrapbook moments. Those are the best moments of life. And when we start to compare ourselves against that, it really highlights that shame. And so part of what we can do to combat that is to really do things that are more self-accepting. Remember the values that you use to choose that career, and that those are genuine to you, and it's okay to have those moments, but really try to avoid making those comparisons to everyone's best.
Great advice for a big time in life. Thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate it.